Goodness. We're good? All right, cool. Well, hello everybody. You know, we kind of had a kind of an iCarly-esque countdown, and it just reminisced me of watching iCarly in the past. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Speedrun Saturdays. This is the first ever episode. We're kind of testing everything out, but if you're here, you're the first to experience greatness. Now, today is going to also be something special, which is the very first ever Schneiderthon. Now, today we are going to be speedrunning through iCarly 1 for the Wii, Zoe 101 for the GBA, and also Drake and Josh for the DS. And the racers are going to be us. So not only is this our show, we are the content for today's Speedrun Saturdays. So I'm going to be taking EZScape down.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I would say EZScape slightly has an advantage. He has a little bit more practice, but you know, I might surprise you. I might come out on top. All right.
Man, I saw you hitting all those clips first try.
Dude,
Josh,
I really was.
Yeah.
I really was though. But yeah, we also have some commentators. You will not be hearing us during the race. We have some people to cover all of the high-level gameplay that you're going to be witnessing. If they want to go ahead and introduce themselves, we have Silo Simon.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well.
And we have PM Me Obama.
Yeah, what's up, everyone?
Yeah, so these guys are basically experts compared to what we know. Silo Simon was the ex-world record holder of iCarly 1. PM Me Obama is the world record holder of iCarly 1, and he's the world record holder of Zoe 101. And then throughout this week, they kind of caught up on some of the Drake and Josh tech, so they'll be filling in on all of that. But yeah, we're going to be going here pretty soon. I don't think there's too much else to cover. Anything that you have to say, Alan?
No, nothing I can think of.
All right. Well, Artemis, you can go ahead and throw us over to the race layout, and we'll get started. Sound good? All right, great. All right, Alan, to your position. Let's get everything set up over here.
Hey,
Have a good, clean
I'm
race.
awesome Carly, and I'm Sam.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic.
Hey, we're being cliche rock dudes. Yeah, like totally.
Also, I will not be able to hear the commentators, so I hope you guys do well. You're gonna be taking over from here. Later, guys.
See ya. Good luck.
Hey, we're
All
Sam and
right, so
Carly.
these guys are
We're
going to be
magic
starting their
girls.
timers
Looking like you
when
can't see 'em.
they
These
create a
crazy
file,
girls.
so hopefully they'll figure that out among themselves, just so that the races start at a even time. It's a little easier to start both of their timers and runs at the same time whenever they do that, so whenever they're ready for that, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, normally you start your timer when you skip the first cutscene, but it's just easier to do it this
At
way.
least we thought we were. Now we're not sure.
So if anyone's unfamiliar with the iCarly speedruns, there's not a ton of time save. So they're probably going to be pretty even coming out of the first game.
Yeah, there's like most of the game is just a mini game collection that has a lot of mini games that are timed, but there's a good handful. There's like maybe about a dozen games that you can save time on, and then there's also menuing that you can save time on as well. So
Yeah, the menu is probably the biggest one.
Yo, Artemis,
yeah.
we're all ready. You can just give us a countdown when you're good.
I'm Carly, and I'm Sam, and this is iCarly, the show that puts the I in Phantasmic.
In the chat, that is.
all right, and then these guys are gonna. Artemis is gonna give a countdown to EZScape and BScape, and then we're gonna get this run started.
Hi,
This
I'm
race.
Carly, and you can call me Sam. Welcome to iCarly, the show that makes the internet worth watching.
All right, and they are. Let's see. They're off. And BScape
Are you okay, Carly?
might be. I don't know. BScape might be waiting here.
iCarly has new email. Let's open it up and see who it's from.
What is BScape doing? All
I
right.
have no idea.
Oh, they're desynced.
Okay.
Okay, no worries. Just wanted to make sure.
But yeah, so the first minigame that they do is they're just doing a plate balancing minigame, so there's really nothing you can do to speed that one up.
Cool.
Yeah, thankfully we're not missing a ton right now, even though they were a little desynced. But yeah, this first minigame is timed, so
We're almost
nothing at all that you can do to speed it up. But you want to make sure in all of the games to do sort of decent, so that at the end of the webisode you don't fail the webisode and have to replay it. It's pretty hard to lose, so you shouldn't really have to worry about that though.
Yeah, the bar for passing is so low. So they're on pie right now, so this is the first minigame where you can save some time. So these hands just come in and grab the pie, so you want to fail it as fast as possible, essentially. So the best way to do that is to just let them grab it, and then you swat the hands away as soon as they exit the screen, because that'll spawn more. And
Yeah, basically, yeah. Once you slap away a hand, another one will appear immediately instead of taking the pie and then slowly going away and then spawning one a little bit later. So there's definitely a little bit of time save in some of these games that are not entirely obvious, but they do save a good amount of time, and all of the time save that you can get in this game is important if you wanna be ahead. So
yeah, as simple as this game is, that's kind of what makes the speedrun tough, is that it's not a good speed game. Because then every second counts a lot. Because
Yeah,
like the
it's
top
kind of-
runs are all pretty similar in time.
What's the hair?
Yeah.
Not long
Yeah,
left.
it's not like a super serious game with tons of skips and glitches, but it definitely it's one of those games that just requires as close to perfection as you can get if you want to get that really, really good time. So
Yeah. I think for a world record, I had to do like 300 something attempts, and almost all of them I was just like resetting on like the first 3 seconds because I didn't click on the buttons like perfectly in the menuing,
Yeah,
so I was starting off behind. It was such a nightmare.
It's over.
no, for real, you can lose a good bit of time just for menuing because you're the menuing in this game is motion control menus. So basically you just have to know where to point your Wii remote onto the screen every time. All right, so these next few mini games, a lot of these mini games were timed mini games, so they didn't have a lot to say, but we're getting into the catching mini games here.
Nice.
This one is another pretty simple one. Sometimes they'll switch up the controls on these games to make it so you're not just playing the exact same mini game every time, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
they
the-
reuse stuff quite a bit in this game.
yeah, definitely. So the runs are desynced a little bit. They're not too far off, but they're only about a second or two off. But they did start at the same time, so we'll see how that adjusts at the very end, or if EZScape pulls ahead, like in a massive amount, then we'll definitely see it be a little more closely synced up.
Mhm. The difference I'd say between someone just like playing the game completely casually in one sitting and someone like speedrunning it is probably like a little like 40 minutes is probably about what you'd expect from someone doing it pretty casually. 41 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
And then like I think
Yeah.
world record's 38:53 or 51, something like that.
That's your record.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, they're getting close here to the end of webisode 1, and they're doing great for sure. They got both pretty good pie games, so we're getting out of webisode 1 with some good pace. This last mini game here is just kind of an arcade shooting mini game, and another one that we can't save any time on, but EZScape's going to be getting out of webisode 1 here. Now he has to do a bunch of menuing. This is pretty much the most intense menuing section in the game, where you have to go check your email and then go to the shop, buy something from the shop, and then go check your email again, go to the customize section, but you don't have to customize anything because it's not required for whatever reason. And then you go into webisode 2. So that's like a massive, that's like a kind of probably the hardest part of iCarly 1 speedrunning.
Oh,
One
yeah,
of
for
them
sure.
is learning that menuing section because it's probably the most complicated out of all of them. They both did it pretty well.
A tutorial.
Yeah. It looked like it looks like EZScape may have done it just slightly better, but it was pretty comparable from what it looks like.
Mhm. But yeah, that's where some of the most time save comes in, and that's also where most of my resets were if they made it past the first pie minigame. So EZScape's on the next game we can save some time on. This is called the Snoopus Tree, so you just want to get all those noses on the tree as fast as possible to stop the timer. The problem with this game is the hit detection is terrible, so even if you just place a nose on the tree in a perfectly fine spot, the game will just tell you no and then knock it off. You have to try it again.
Yeah, like a good couple of these noses that Easy put right in the middle of the tree didn't even stay on the tree, but
Yeah,
got
and
a
you
pretty
can-
good game though.
Yeah, some of these Scape's noses are stacked on each other, and then it's still letting him do that. But neither of them were
yeah.
able to save any time on that one. Usually, in a world record run, you want to have 7 to 9 seconds left on the clock. I don't think I've ever seen anyone have 10 seconds left. But
Oh yeah, no, it's really, really tough to, like, it's like the top level, like task level gameplay of this game would be ridiculously difficult to get that good at.
yeah,
So,
especially because it's just like Wii motion control, so like they can give some trouble there. There's also these mini
Yeah.
cutscenes that you're seeing where Neville's appearing on the screen. You can just press A to skip those. It's just like a picture and some dialogue. It's nothing interesting.
yeah, there's an actual plot to this game, kind of. Pretty much, it's it kind of just follows the plot of the show where iCarly, Carly, Sam, and Freddie are, you know, doing their web show and stuff, but Neville tries to stop them by interrupting their web show and trying to make them lose viewers.
Not long left
So once in a while, you'll see the screen kind of do a staticky effect, and then Neville will appear on screen for a second, but you just want to skip the cutscene as soon as you can by mashing A, so that you don't have to listen to Neville talk about all that stuff. So that's another thing you can do to save time, is obviously skip all the cutscenes, but that's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's just a single A press. And yeah, there's nothing else in Webisode 2 where you can save time, but Easy's coming up on the end, right? The chick game's the last one for this webisode, I think.
I think he might have.
There's a
let's
fishing one
see.
for this one, isn't there?
We're great commentators. We promise. Yeah, I think there's the fishing one coming up here. Yeah, the
There's like
the
2 or 3
texture
more.
fishing game.
It's been a while since I ran it.
All right, yeah. So Easy is gonna be coming up here. There are these in between sections here with what's his name, Lubert, the desk clerk at the apartment building that Carly and Freddie live at. Some of those sections, depending on what you do, you can save a little bit of time on the action that you take. Some of them are slightly faster than others, so but only by like a very, very small amount, it seems.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell which ones even matters for. It's so little time.
Yeah, it's
They
pretty
take about 5
small.
seconds each.
Right. So for this race, it's probably not going to matter as much, because unless their menuing is insanely perfect, it's not really a huge deal. But definitely going well. Like, the race is still pretty close. They're still within, with the delay that there is, I'm pretty sure they're still within about 4 or 5 seconds of each other. So.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they know. I think after this one, you have to click one more email, and then that's the last menu you have to do besides selecting webisodes. So I wonder if they know they have to do that or not.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I imagine so. Like, the play the webisode section isn't, like, you can't select it unless you have read whatever email, or if you don't need to read any emails, it's already highlighted. So I think that's a pretty easy way to tell. But we'll see. We'll see if they if they randomly do some extra menuing. But I think they'll probably get it. Easy got a perfect webisode, all 5 stars and full viewers. It took a second to get his menuing going there, but all right. So that's a little bit of time EZScape can pick up if he menus a little quick here. EZScape also a little bit. He was a little bit faster there. I think EZScape caught up a little bit there on the menuing. All right, awesome.
Ready, go!
Yeah, so this game with the statue right here, you're just flicking your Wiimote to launch paint, and the harder you flick, the higher the paint goes. It's not really super consistent. I feel like sometimes I'm doing it the same strength every time, and it goes in different positions, but, you know, it's not a game from their timeline.
It'd be interesting if it was random. I'm not totally sure myself.
Not long left
Okay, let's
now.
see.
Hold it, we're done.
I almost thought for a second that EZScape was frozen, but it was just the timer going down. He wasn't doing anything. Okay, so they're both finishing up the paint game, and every single section in between these mini games is the same. So they'll always have the different like EZScape's doing the stacking here after EZScape did the stacking of the plates, and it seems that the Neville cutscenes, as far as I know, I forget if Salty DK Dan went into looking into this, but I think the Neville cutscenes happen randomly, but over the whole entire run, they will there's only a certain amount that can happen, so it'll always end up being the same amount of time loss for every Neville cutscene that happens. So it's random when it happens, but it doesn't add any time really.
Now they're doing like the turtle races, which is just your cursor is just some grapes, and it just is the direction your turtle runs in. If you do it really well, you can just start to lap them.
Yeah.
But really you just gain points for being in first place for the most part.
Yeah, some of these mini games I think would be fairly fun multiplayer, like 4 players. I think that'd be a good one.
Hmm. There is a category on the board for the multiplayer sections, aren't there? That's for the
That's a good
endless
question.
episode.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think you can do the section they're doing right now, the webisode sections. I don't think you can do those multiplayer, which is kind of a shame, really. But
Yeah.
you can play the mini games multiplayer, but I'm pretty sure they're all like you just do a quick play section, pretty much. It's not any of the lore or anything. The juicy iCarly lore.
Yeah, yeah. You can also
Alright, so sorry,
combine your own. You can combine your own selection of minigames and make your own webisodes, which isn't really a very interesting feature, but it's really good for practicing.
So tacos, fast tacos. This is the best skip in the game. Speed tacos. You just break all of the spaghetti tacos. That is taco skip.
Yeah, so
And
if you were
that
to
is-
play that regularly, it would take 30 seconds for the timer to run out, but you can just fail on the purpose by mashing A. I think one time
Yeah,
I
that
had 30
was-
seconds left on the timer when I did it.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can if you mash really quick. I think you only need to press A like 6 times or something.
Mhm.
You can get it down. You can get it finished before the timer even goes down a second. So little bits of time you can save depending on how well you mash and how well you time everything. All that little bits of time adds up.
Then Easy's doing these dancing mini games now. There's multiple of these throughout the run, and every time you have to shake the Weir mode a bit differently, but it doesn't really explain that to you. So
Yeah, some of them are really kind of odd, and not super intuitive, but once you learn how to do them, they're not too bad.
yeah. This one you can just shake it back and forth. I think later you have to like shake it in a circle or something to get it to work right. So, it's
Oh,
just-
okay.
so this is why I thought the chicks were the last level in the other webisode, because they're the
yeah.
last one level in this one.
Yeah, it's an honest mistake. A lot of these webisodes, since a lot of these mini games are pretty much just variations of the same mini games, I kind of get the same way where I don't even remember if I'm near the end of a webisode until I see that in between section.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Easy's got a menu again here.
The chick minigames are weird because if you just like swing your Wii remote back and forth and just press A, it'll pretty much lock onto the chicks because you're going across the screen so fast. So I would just mash A and do that, and it just like pretty much cuts between them.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a strat, especially for any percent. It's not really too detrimental if you don't get a perfect score, obviously.
Yeah, you have to like fail multiple segments to even like fail a webisode. You pretty much have to just not play to do it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, to be fair, I'm glad the game doesn't just let you literally do nothing and finish the game. There are some Wii games like that where you straight up don't have to do anything at all, and the game will still get to the end.
iCarly won on the DS. If you mess up even a little bit, it'll quit out the entire webisode and you have to start it over. It's pretty brutal, actually.
Yeah.
Some of the games are pretty difficult with the touchcreen.
Right,
Didn't
yeah,
cover that
iCarly
thing,
one on DS is definitely a lot more punishing. This one's like baby Wii game,
Yeah.
Like, you could probably give this to a 5-year-old and they'd probably be able to beat it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a great speed game. I mean,
Oh yeah,
like,
I think it's one of the best.
the pace.
There's a 320 stars speedrun for this game, which is a significantly larger amount of stars than there are in Super Mario 64. So
Right, yeah, like Super Mario 64 doesn't have nearly that many stars.
so
I
not
mean,
quite as competitive.
No, it's not as nearly as good of a speed game.
So right now we're on one of the biggest time-saving games because the hit detection on these items is very weird. But what you want to do is there are items that are off the tree, and it's random each time what they are, and you want to put them in their silhouettes. Just the hit detection for them is really strict, so it's hard to get them in there sometimes. It looks like
Yeah, the way
EZScape did a
Easy
great
ended
job.
the game there was kind of interesting. He didn't have the fork and knife right on there, so that was kind of neat.
And then Beastcape saved 3 seconds there, so he's definitely catching up from that a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's getting a lot more close now with with the menuing that Beescape's been doing menuing, I think, just a tiny bit better. And then yeah, that was a pretty big time save for sure. So we'll definitely see them get a little bit closer here. At least I think so. With the Neville cutscenes, they also add a little bit of time in between, so it might be hard to tell right away if they're close. But then once the Neville cutscenes are all evened out, then we'll definitely see, especially before the end, whether or not they are going to be close or not.
Maximum grabbing.
Yeah, this one's pretty self-explanatory. There's just a picture of the item you need to grab in the bottom right of the screen, but it pretty much locks onto the items you need to grab when you're over them, so it's very simple.
Right, like you can't grab any of these like plush toys or any of the other stuff in the mini game, and you don't get punished really if you mess up. And you have 60 seconds, so this is probably one of the longest timed mini games where you just kind of chill out.
Yeah, and then it's so easy to get 5 stars in it too. Like the score requirement's not very high at all. So
Right,
these mini games
exactly.
are interesting here. They're more of a problem when you're going for 320 stars, because for any percent, it doesn't really matter even if you fail it. But you want to have your character lick the cream off the screen, and then you have to choose the picture that matches the item that you get. So easy failed it right there.
Yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, thankfully on any percent, it won't really matter too much. As long as Easy doesn't fail like 5 or 6 mini games, like just get no score at all in all those games, he'll probably be all right.
Yeah. If you fail, it just cuts you out of the webisode, so you don't have to worry about failing unless it kicks you out, really.
Right.
But yeah, when you're doing 320 stars, it's kind of hard to figure out what item it is sometimes until you've practiced it a lot. So it's like, it's really easy to just get like 4 stars on it, and then
Yeah, for sure.
Get that pickup.
And yeah, for the cream game, you definitely also, I think you have to lick up a certain amount of cream to actually get to 5 stars, depending. I think it also depends on how fast you choose the option. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, you get bonus points the faster you choose the option, and then you also get points for the more creepy screen, so you want to choose as quickly as possible and then just keep going over the screen. But I also noticed that it causes the game to lag, so I'm wondering if that also wastes some frames.
oh, does it? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it might if you get some extra cream, that might be time loss.
Yeah. There's so many factors into iCarly speedruns that casuals wouldn't understand.
This next minigame here is another one of the minigames. They're another one of the hand-grabbing minigames where they just go and grab snacks from the middle. So Easy wants to let them grab the chips, and then he just wants to spritz them with water, so he respawns more hands as the game goes on. So he saved a good 2 seconds there because of his respawning. Beescape saved 4 seconds, so Beescape's even catching up even more now from the looks of it, if he's not already ahead due to the desync. EZScape's doing another one of the hand games here with Candy. This one's a little bit faster, and it has the same sort of principle. You just want to smack all the hands so that more of them spawn, and you save time.
Yeah, Beescape saves about a second there over Easy. The chip one is probably the hardest hand in a game in the game, but it doesn't usually make too much of a difference. But usually want to go for having 5 seconds left on that one. I got 6, I think, in world record, but those are kind of hard to get, and I think they're also based on RNG. All the hand games, the hand spawns are different every time, so you can just get a little unlucky and lose a second or two to whatever the hand patterns you get are.
Yeah, you kind of have to react to where the hands are, and the faster that you spray the hands, the faster that another one is going to spawn. So really, if you really wanted to save the most time, you'd probably just have to YOLO all of it.
Yeah. These also these little mini games in the side with the 5-second timer on them, there's no score or anything for them, so you don't have to do them if you don't want to.
Yeah,
Usually I would
exactly.
get
You
the
don't have to do
the
them,
timer.
or finishing them faster doesn't really. Some of them, I think, depending on the animation that happens, might save just about a frame or two, but it's very minuscule and just negligible for races, pretty much. And even runs, sort of. I think at this point maybe it wouldn't be, but. All right, so the stoplight game. This one's kind of funny. For some reason, when I first played this game, I thought you had to just hit the green light, And I thought it was way harder than it needs to be, but you just have to splat the light that is currently on.
Oh yeah, I think I had that exact same thing. It just seems like what would make sense. Or I thought you just had to throw when the green light was on. So I
Right.
failed this game once or twice until I figured out what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. You know what's weird is, like, I don't know if you see the robot. Does the robot to you kind of look like the head kind of look like the Twitch smiley?
Oh
robot
yeah,
emote,
it does.
kinda. Every time I see that, it makes me think of that.
I will say this game does a decent job of like incorporating things from the show because there's a lot of licensed games that like have absolutely nothing to do with the property that they're making the game based off of. But I think pretty much all the items and stuff in this game are referenced to some prop or episode of iCarly.
Yeah, I think they definitely try to stay a little bit more true to the iCarly lore in all of the iCarly games, it seems. I think like iCarly 2 definitely has a ton of items that are just referencing all the different episodes and stuff. So
Yeah, and they modeled the entire town with a bunch of like locations from the show, so they cared in that one as well. Groovy Foodie, I'd say, is probably the only one that doesn't, because that one, you know, like just making food in random locations, like you go to jail and a lot of crazy stuff happening in that one.
I forget, there might be an episode or something where they do something like that. I don't know if they make food, but
Yeah, there's a
So,
surprising amount of iCarly episodes. It's like 8 seasons or something.
there's a lot. Yeah, they make quite a bit of episodes of iCarly. It was, I think, the most popular live-action Nickelodeon show.
Oh,
I could
probably,
be wrong,
yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it was.
It definitely ran the longest for sure.
Yeah. All right, so they finished up another one of these catching games here, and then we're back on to another one of the dancing games. This one you have to shake the Wii remote, but then make sure that the bar falls into this third part of the 4-bar division thing in the bottom. And to do that, you just have to shake the Wii remote every like second or so it stays in that bar. It's not too complicated. All right, and the funnest game of all, the game where you pick warts or pick hairs from Lubert's massive wart.
Yeah, this one, I think this one is also in the DS version of the game. I don't know if the obsession with it is, but a lot of the DS game mini games are just like versions of mini games from this game, but like harder and 2D.
Right. All right, so finishing up this section here, and we're done with webisode 4, right? We're yeah,
5.
or webisode 5. Okay, I'm bad at counting. So we're at webisode 6 now out of 6 out of 8. So there's only 3 webisodes left, including this one. So should be interesting to see how much EZScape can catch up, because he is definitely catching up a little bit. Again, I'm not entirely sure if he's ahead at the moment because of just the slight desync in the stream, but I'm pretty sure that EZScape's still just the tiniest bit ahead.
Mm-hmm. EZScape's done really well in a lot of mini games, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was ahead, but menuing makes it hard to tell.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll definitely see by hopefully by the next webisode or 2, but either way, they're pretty close, and they've both been saving decent bits of time on a lot of the mini games, so
there's actually no
good
time save in webisode 8. There's no time save mini games, so by 7 as soon as you click onto webisode 8, you know if you're getting world record or not, but because of the desync, we won't really know until they're done. But
right, we won't know. And then also with, I think there might be some menuing, like if there's any of the cutscenes that happen with Neville in, I don't know, is there any in webisode 8? I'm not totally sure, but I think that could be some time that EZScape could pick up as well, or EZScape, if one of them doesn't immediately notice the cutscene. What category is this? This is any percent.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think there's any cutscenes in webisode 8, but it's been a while, so there could be, because I would usually just mash A between all the mini games just to make sure I didn't miss one.
right, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, so this is any percent. So the goal for any percent is just to beat all 8 webisodes and then get the credits to play. So pretty much what they need to do throughout all of these webisodes is do well enough to where they don't lose, pretty much. So.
And then here's another
Alright.
big time save game. It's the wiener dog dressing game. It'll be a random one of those 3 outfits: cow, tiger, or pig. It doesn't really make a difference which one you get. They all have the same amount of pieces.
Looks like they both got the pig. And Beescape saved a ton of time there. Yeah, Beescape just caught up a ton because EZScape was struggling on the legs there. Those legs are very easy to mix up because they look pretty similar, and EZScape was putting the wrong legs on both legs. So Beescape is now, I'm pretty sure Beescape is quite ahead now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that was a major turning point in this race. So Beescape is definitely now I'm pretty sure with the slight desync, he is now ahead. For sure.
Yeah, if you're going for world record pace, usually I would try to go for 11 or 12 seconds left on the timer there, but 10 seconds is really good.
Yeah, for a race, that was great.
Yeah, and then so what you want to do to make sure you have the right legs is they look similar, but I've noticed that all the legs with the divot in the back of them, those go in the back, and then the legs that are just straight go in the front.
That's a good, that's definitely a good way to tell. Yeah, and it definitely depends on the animal too. Some of them I think are a little easier than the other ones, but yeah, they both got the pig. So this mini game here, they just need to slam the door on Miss Briggs because they don't want to. You don't want to hear that loud. What bagpipe? I couldn't remember the word. And yeah, just a lot of these are just references to the episodes. There was, I think, a good couple of episodes where Miss Briggs goes ham on the bagpipes.
Oh yeah, no, she rocks out.
Yeah.
That's referencing Groovy Foodie as well. She's a boss in the game. She's got bagpipes.
That's awesome. Yeah, Groovy Foodie is a pretty good game.
Yeah, it was made by Way Forward, the people who make the Shantae games. So it's surprisingly decent. The pixel art on it is actually like really nice. The animations are really good.
Yeah, I think it's not bad. For an iCarly game, it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I think it's probably like the highest quality iCarly game for sure.
All right, so now they're both waking Spencer up. You can, if you're doing the shaking to wake Spencer up, I think you can save a little bit of time depending on how you do it. I think it might just be on lag stuff though. Like if you do wake him up, then it might, depending on how you do it, it might lag a little bit more than other times. But either way.
I think it's the last minigame for this webisode, and it's just bouncing on the trampolines. There's a whole bunch of the trampoline minigames. You can't speed them up, but this one's a bit tougher because you have all 3, but it's not too hard to get 5 stars on it anyways. The biggest problem is when they fall, you can lose some stars. So if you're going for 320 stars, that can mess it up sometimes.
Yeah, if you lose them right at the end, that can definitely be a little sketchy. All right, so EZScape's going to webisode 7 now. We're getting to the end of this race here, just this webisode and webisode 8. And yeah, I think Beescape is still ahead here, as far as I know.
Yeah, we'll see when they're done, but I would assume Beescape is ahead by a good bit. But that said, because this is iCarly 1, ahead by a lot is not really a significant portion of time, so things will definitely easily change in Zoe 101, and especially Talent Showdown when they do that one.
Yeah, exactly. So the races that they're doing today, all of the timers from every game, they're going to be putting together the times and comparing them. So pretty much when EZScape or Beescape finish this game, they're going to pause their timer and then wait for the other person to finish, and then when the other person finishes, they'll pause their timer. So they'll have different timers at the end of the run, assuming they don't get the exact same time on this run. But they will then, once we go to the next game, which is going to be Zoe 101, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, once we go to Zoe 101, they'll both be starting Zoe 101 at the same time. They'll start the race at the same time, but they will have their timers still be set to whatever time they had from iCarly 1. So basically just so that the races, they're not spending time in between setting up stuff and adding that to their timer. So
yeah. It just makes it easier to follow too, and you can see who does better in each individual game.
right, exactly.
Ready?
done this before.
So, yep, we're getting through a little bit more of Webisode 7 here. This is the one where you throw paint on the guy, but now you do some glitter. Never noticed, but I guess which side Neville spawns on is random.
Oh yeah, that's a very
That was
weird thing for them to program. I wonder if it
It
makes
looks
any
like both of them are kind of just. It looks like the way that the thing is going is random too, because Beescapes was going a different way,
Oh yeah,
or they
That
were going
one-
opposite ways.
they both got 5 stars on that one, and sometimes it's hard to hit it because it's moving the entire time, and like the throwing controls aren't like amazing. But they both
Yeah.
got 5 stars on it, so that's pretty impressive in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely doing pretty well, and the runs are. I think these runs are definitely pretty good
hmm
so far. So, especially for a race, they're definitely. They're like really close. So, I think it's going pretty good.
Yeah, this one is just another trampoline game. It's like the 4th one, I think, at this point. And it's the same as the first ones, except you press 2 when you're in the air. I see Escape got a Neville cutscene there.
Yeah, one thing that's funny is you can press any button there. You don't even have to press 2. If you press like A or 1, it still counts.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So another
Yeah.
one of these just in between games here. This one doesn't. Again, it doesn't matter if they complete it or not. It doesn't save any time.
hmm So we got another cream game, so I wonder if EZScape can get it this time. He got the same object as he got last time as well.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Good job, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Looks like Beescape got 2 different ones. You got the bagpipes this time.
Finished.
Hey, you got it this time. There you go.
I don't know. I don't think Beescape got it, but it doesn't matter again because we're on any percent. So any percent runs, goal is just to get to the end, and
Yeah.
getting a high score on that game doesn't really matter that much.
Oh, the DS versions of those mini games, it's like they change up where the objects are oriented and where they are on the screen, and the timer is so strict on those. Going for that in 108 stars was a nightmare.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. All right.
So in this
there-
one, a hand can actually
another
come
hand.
in. A hand could come in with candy and add more to the bowl, so you want to make sure you swap that one before it gets to the bowl. But otherwise, it's pretty similar to the other hand games. It's probably the easiest one. Usually, you want to have 23 seconds left. They had 22. Doesn't really make much of a difference. It's probably just a couple frames, honestly.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. For that game, you can have the hands add more candy to the bowl if you don't swat the hands that have candy in them. So you want to make sure to do that so that the game ends as quickly as possible, so that all the other hands grab all the candy and the game just ends and you lose the game. So, yep.
Ready?
All right, so finally on to the last dancing game. This one's kind of weird where you have to dance, but then you have to stop moving the Wii remote at a certain point so that it'll keep building your score.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's a little wonky. Sometimes it's like easy for the game to just not recognize that you're not moving.
Yeah, you can see Beescape only got 1 star there. I think I lost 1 or 2 320 star runs to that mini game. Just
Yeah,
because
it's
I didn't stop fast enough. It's pretty like strict with how quickly you have to stop and stuff.
right. All right, so they're on to Webisode 8. I'm pretty sure Beescape is ahead. We'll check with them to make sure because they are a little desynced, but we will see how close they are here. This is another mini game, another hand mini game, but the hands don't ever grab the ice cream fast enough to actually end the game. I don't know why they're grabbing handfuls of ice cream with their hands, but it's incredibly unsanitary.
Yeah, that one can't be sped up at all. So it kind of tricks you into thinking you can hand nip it. Which I wonder if they even like tested that mini game to like realize that you couldn't fail it.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I haven't asked them, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like it seems like you should be able to, especially if you got just the perfect spritzing on the other hands that grab ice cream already. You might be able to get really close, but I'm pretty sure it's impossible to actually save any time on the ice cream hand game.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone do it.
Yeah.
Who's ready to play?
Focus.
Oh. Okay, yeah, no
Sure.
worries. So once Webisode 8 ends, once the final minigame fades to black, that is when you'll end time. And I'll try and let you know that before, like when they're on the final minigame. All right. Sweet. So, final dance minigame. Let's go. I think this one is one where you have to interact and press the like Sam's remote. There's this little remote they have in the show that just does a bunch of stuff, a bunch of random stuff that Sam's programmed the remote to do. So you interact with the game by clicking on the screen.
We've been looking into finding because they made a toy of the Sam's remote, and it's got a code that you can enter into the games. This game had a lot of codes released with toys for iCarly that have that do something to affect the game, but we've looked very hard, both Simon and I, and neither of us have been able to find a single code.
Yeah, it's interesting. There were these like secret codes that would come with it, and you could enter the codes into the game. And as far as we know, yeah, they're literally only they were only given out with iCarly toys, and we're not sure if it does anything at all that's interesting, but it would be kind of neat if there were some interesting cheat codes. Nobody's tried to look like really deep into the programming or code of the game or anything to see if there's a list of cheat codes, but that would be kind of neat if anybody found one. So
yeah, I looked into maybe buying one of them just to see what they would do, but all the toys are like $30 online.
Yeah, they're freaking expensive.
I assume whatever they do will be pretty underwhelming. I assume it'll just be like an extra item for the 100% stuff, or it would be like I don't think it'd be like extra mini games or an extra website or anything, but maybe that'd be pretty cool if it was.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat for sure. It definitely seems like I'd imagine it is what you said, where it's probably just some item from the shop and then you just don't have to pay for it or something. It probably is very benign.
Yeah.
Just completely not useful for speedrunning probably. But it would be interesting either way, because as far as we know, there's no codes online at all. I haven't seen anything online at all.
I went back and I was watching like kids doing unboxing videos of their iCarly toy, hoping they would like read the code or something. I think I saw like you had commented on like some like guy did a unboxing of an iCarly toy, and you asked if he still had the code. He never responded, unfortunately.
Oh, he responded eventually, and he said, "Sadly not. Sadly not.
Okay.
No. Yeah, but no, it is really funny. Just nobody's listed any cheat codes online. All right, so now we're getting to the end of webisode 8. This is the final mini game here. And once the 30-second timer for EZScape's game ends and Bscape's games end, then that is when timer will end. So
yeah, it takes a couple seconds to fade to black because it says finish segment, or whatever it says when you win. But after that, then that's gonna be time. Nothing you can do to speed this one up either. Just controls are reversed on this one, right?
yeah, some of them, like, you can get power-ups or power-downs that will reverse your controls, or maybe make your nets.
Alright, EZScape's done. And then
alright, sweet.
Timer.
EZScape's good. And Bscape has 4022 there. I'm not sure if there's any desync, but they might be able to fix that. We'll see. It looks like... I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who won.
Alright, well, that was a race.
Check with the judges.
Well,
About that?
I don't know if I'm cut out for iCarly one speedrunning, guys.
Man, you guys got to work on those sub 40s. No, it's all good. You guys did good. I think you guys did definitely really good in some of the mini games. Were definitely like Bscape definitely did really well on that one dressing up mini game, and yeah, the menuing was good for both of you and everything. So I think it was awesome.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're gonna go on a quick intermission, and we'll be right back with Zoe 101.
All right. Let's see here. Just waiting for the video feed to come up here in the Discord. Okay. Oh, no worries, no worries. Just wanted to make sure me and Obama had some visuals, so awesome. All right. Let's see, is Obama here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just want to make sure. Awesome. And then we're just waiting on them to start the game then, I guess. So
Yeah.
all right, sweet. Okay. Okay, sweet. So basically Zoe 101, this is also another minigame collection, although this one has way less games that are timed and way more that you can save time on, and a lot of interesting strats as well. So
Yeah, it's a much shorter game too. So I've also got a world record on this game. I think EZScape at one point actually had a world record with me and someone else this time. And he's mentioned he's wanted to reclaim it, so we'll see if he can maybe squeak out a world record or something in it.
yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be good to see some more EZScape runs of this game for sure. Alrighty. So we're gonna get ready here to start the run. Or the race, so alright. Should be starting here once the two runners get going. Should be getting going anytime now here. Alright, and they're synced. Great.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes it way better.
Yeah, sweet. Alright, so we're off to the first game.
Yeah, so this one, it's pretty simple. You can see on the top right, that's the score requirement. So you just need 2 points. It means you need to score it once. So what you need to do is you need to run back and forth to kind of juke. I forget if his name is. I think he's Chase is his name. You need to kind of juke him out, and then you also need to shoot the ball when the ball is in the basket image. And so the easiest way to do that one, because it's only to score once, is just hold left as soon as the game starts and then shoot almost immediately. Immediately we're moving into disc golf, and this is one of the tougher mini games. You want to get it in there. They both got holes in one, which is pretty hard to do. So that's a great start for this one. Usually when I was doing runs, I would start with this game. Oh, 2 holes in one. Oh, both of them.
Wow, nice. Yeah, they're both doing really well.
Yeah,
disc golf is definitely a little bit. It takes a good bit of practice, it seems. So you wanna get really good at perfecting these.
I don't even think I got all 3 in world record.
Nice. So. They both got all 3. That's sweet.
Yeah, that's actually
awesome.
pretty hard.
This is going well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now we're doing the main one we're going to be doing for the first level, prank week. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. You just want to run across the hallway. There are people who will scare you in those plant bases and trash cans, but if you hug the wall, or get like directly in the middle of them when they're on both sides, you can kind of avoid them. And then also sometimes he'll run down and throw a balloon at you from those open doors. But if you hug the wall on the bottom, you can usually run right past him. Later, they'll do it, and they'll get a second character to join them, Quinn. So you're seeing that right now. And she makes it a little harder because if things hit her, you still take damage. And she just trails you, so it's a bit harder to control. But basically, the way this game works is there's 3 kind of main hub worlds. And then there's 3 selections for 3 minigames on each of them. So what you need to do is you need to finish every level of one of the minigames to move on to the next hub world. So for this one, the fastest one to do is all the versions of Prank Week. So there's an extra version of Prank Week when you finish all of the girls' minigames. So that's why they did all 3 of these minigames for the girls. And now they're going to go through and play Prank Week again for the other 2 screens on level 1. And then that'll unlock the final Prank Week challenge, and then they'll do that one, and then they'll have to move on to the next hub world. So basically, each hub world, you find the fastest minigame to play. You play the one with the extra game. You play all 3 levels for the one with the extra minigame in it, and then you move on. I think for every single hub world, it's actually the fastest one is actually the one in the first level, which makes it simple. But yeah, so EZScape's pulling ahead with faster prank weeks for now, but there's still a decent amount of time saved left throughout the run.
Oh yeah, there's still plenty of instances where Easy could pull ahead here, so it's not the end yet.
Escape's PB for this game is 27 minutes and 41 seconds. Current world record is 23 minutes and 9 seconds. So, given that you got all 3 disc golf games, I'd say there's a pretty good chance he PBs here.
Yeah, totally. It definitely seems like Escape's run is going really well, and EZScape's is going well too. He's just taken a couple of hits on some of these prank weeks.
Yeah, the prank week, it looks pretty simple, but like when you actually play it, it's like some of those hitboxes are very weird and inconsistent, so it's kind of hard to like get it down, especially when you have Quinn trailing and you can't really control her.
I forget. So this is Zoe 101 is the one that has those occasional sections where you can kind of speed up, right?
Yes. There'll be, I think, in the third hub world, there are these rat mini games. Where you kind of have to like get them through a maze, and once you have it set up, you can. It seems like it seems like you're speeding up an emulator, but it's an in-game feature, so they're not cheating when you see them going fast.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, just because I just wanted to make sure which minigame that was in particular, just so we cover that. But yeah, this next minigame here, we need to make sushi. So you go and make sushi, and then you serve it to all these people at the restaurant that want the sushi. And I think you, for a lot of these mini games, you just have a goal of doing a certain thing a couple of times, right?
Right.
And then you just need to let the timer count down from there after that.
Yeah, similar to iCarly, there's a lot of games on timers, but this one also has a decent amount of games you can actually save time on. So for this first sushi mini game, you only need to serve 2 people, and then you can kind of just sit around and do whatever you want. So this is probably the most boring segment of the speedrun, because you just end up standing here for about 50 seconds.
Yeah, you just chill, but it's a good time to look at chat or read some good manga. I don't know.
Yeah,
read the newest chapter of One Piece.
Yeah, usually when I do when I get to this section, I just make her dash dance, just back and forth as fast as possible.
Yeah. You could really just fill this time with whatever you want to do, and we're gonna have to also wait here for a bit. It seems like EZScape is a good bit ahead though right now.
Yeah, he's about
how much time he's saving on this mini game here. Easy's still got a good 35 seconds to go. So
yeah. So he's off to a good start, but there are more games where we can save time, so it's definitely not over yet. And then Drake and Josh will definitely be the one with like the biggest amount of possible time save. So someone could get minutes ahead there. So this next game is the JetX racing game. I think it looks pretty impressive for a game board game, actually.
Yeah, I've said this before, but like it seems like this mini game here makes me think that they just
they were turned all the way around there.
Nice. Wow, he made it around those bananas though.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like somebody was trying to make a Game Boy Advance 3D Mario Kart ripoff or something, or just some racing game, and then they just gave up halfway through and then just sold the licensing of this to Zoe 101 game makers.
Yeah. Either that, or they just had like a couple people who they told to focus on this, and then they just like put a lot of time to it. But this game, you can see in the top right corner of EZScape's screen with those shoes with the wings there. Those are how many boosts you have. So usually you use the boost as soon as you start to gain speed immediately, and then you can just kind of use them whenever you want throughout the thing. You just got to go around 4 times. It controls pretty nicely.
It doesn't look bad. I mean, for a Zoe 101 game, it looks all right.
Yeah, EZScape didn't do it perfectly, but he didn't really make any big mistakes either. So he did pretty well, but Easy could definitely save some time. Easy's going pretty quickly through it. This next one is called Quinvention, so this is going to be the fastest one to do in this level. And so basically you just want to get these robot parts and slip them into the right place. You got to rotate them and stuff. There are also fake parts where some of them are pretty similar to the real parts, and if you accidentally put the wrong one, it kind of blows up your invention and puts most or all of the pieces back to the start, so you can waste a good bit of time on that. If you see it's kind of explode, that's what happened. Yeah. And then some of the pieces are kind of weirdly shaped, and it's hard to figure out where they go if you're not used to them.
Right, so with this game as well, you can get like different robots that you have to build, correct? Because Easy's got a different one here. And some of them are faster to build than others, right?
Yeah, it seems like that to me.
Okay.
EZScape's really struggling with this foot. He's been on it for a while. It looks like Easy's catching up.
Yeah, that's the thing. This game definitely, a lot of these mini games, you really have to keep up the pace so that you don't lose a good bit of time. That was good though. He got it eventually, and that was a good little bit of time that Easy can catch up on that. So
Yeah,
this will
he
be a
hasn't
little bit of a closer
lead
race.
yet. So I think the one he's doing right now is one of the hardest, one of the ones with most pieces. Not necessarily this robot, but just this level, because each of the robots also has a different amount of pieces for every level that you can get it randomly on. So they've all got multiple versions you can do. But this one is one of the longer ones where all the robots have pieces. And Easy got kind of like a bad one to get because it's a bunch of just like pink squares, so it's kind of really hard to tell where they are until you like line them up with the bolts, which takes some time. So it's usually one you don't want to see unless you get it on like a specific level, in which case it's only got like a couple pieces, so it's pretty easy to get on that one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they're both going through these at a pretty decent pace, so it'll be interesting to see who's ahead after that. Rat races was where I think probably we'll see the biggest difference because there's a lot of RNG in that, and also it's pretty easy to mess up and lose a bunch of time on it.
Right, yeah, the rat race sections, you guys will see those in a bit, but they're just totally random. It's like totally random which ones you get, right? The total, like the different mazes that you have to do.
Yeah, each
random,
level has a certain amount of mazes it can pick from.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the exact
it's not
number
like
for each level. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
okay.
like infinite or anything. You'll get the same
Right.
same kind of ones on the same version of the level, but you don't know which ones for that level you're going to get. So you have to
Right,
memorize
okay.
quite a few of them.
Yeah, a lot more than you'd think you'd have to memorize for Zoe 101.
That's
That's
definitely
what you
the
gotta
hardest
do when
part.
you want to be a pro gamer.
When you want to be a pro Zoe 101 fan. That's what it takes.
Dan Schneider games don't mess around. They go hard.
Yeah, I think he made them with the intention of having them speedrun, so
Yeah.
that's why they're all kind of masterpieces in that sense.
All right. So we're finishing up the robot section, I think, pretty soon. I might be wrong.
I think they have one more to do. No,
Okay,
they've got more to do, I think.
Oh, okay. These robot sections would last a good little bit of time. It's mostly just the most optimal to choose them right now. So
Yeah.
So that's why they do quite a bit of them in a row, but it's a little bit of just a robot building gauntlet.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd be doing the Jet X races or these Sushi ones, and Sushi's on a timer. The Jet X races are pretty long.
Right. So you definitely want to just pick the games that you're going to be able to get through as quick as you can.
So I think EZScape's on the last one, and EZScape might be too. I might have missed that.
Yeah, I think
but
he's.
they're
I
gonna
think
be
he's
pretty
about.
tough.
Yeah, I think he might be close there as well. We'll see. I wasn't counting the exact number of robots. I was trying to look at both of them, but yeah, definitely. Like some of these are definitely pretty tough. Like you gotta really be really quick and know exactly like where all of the parts go if you want to save tons of time.
Yeah, it's just
Sure,
one of
it's
those
a
things you
lot
got to
of
play a
memorization.
handful of times, and then you kind of start to remember what pieces look like.
Right.
You
Because it just looks like a big jumble of crap.
yeah.
On the right side, I could definitely see myself being like messing around with this game and just running out of time.
Yeah, especially with the fake parts. He grabbed one there. Thankfully, he realized and didn't use it. But yeah, you want to make sure you don't put that on there, else your robot will explode.
All right, sweet. They're getting pretty close here. They got the 5-head bot. EZScape's got the 5-head bot. All right.
All right, so I believe EZScape's done with the second hub world. Yes, so he's going on to the third and final hub world. So there's going to be 3 new games in this one. So there's chemistry. So this one, there's not much you can do to make it go fast. You just want to click the buttons as fast as possible. It's just basically a Simon Says thing. It's also a little bit of RNG, depending on which one you got. So you see EZScape got them on both ends, so that's going to waste a little time because you have to go to those ones each time you add something to it. So over the course of it, it's just going to add a little bit of time, but it's not too significantly different. It doesn't really matter unless you're like playing at like a super high level or something for it. I don't think like, even with current world record, it's not something that you really have to worry about.
Right, right. You just save a little bit more time if your character doesn't have to walk as far. The animation's just shorter, so. All right, so it seems like, yeah, they're definitely, these runs are definitely pretty good though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Do you think EZScape is still possibly gonna PB? Because it seems like he did pretty well on the robot sections as well.
Yeah, there's the one robot section where he was stuck for quite a bit of time. So I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen his original run, but I'd say there's probably still a good chance he'd PB because he's got minutes of time saved throughout the run. It depends really on how his rat races go and how they went in his record.
Okay, I forget. Does Easy have a run on the board? I forget if he submitted one.
No, he hasn't yet. So it'd be cool if he submits this
free
run.
PB. So this wrestling game is kind of funny. I forget. Don't you just kind of stand in like mostly just one spot and not do much? I guess it doesn't really matter much because it's super easy anyway.
Well, what I do is I would run and I would avoid him, and that's what you're supposed to do. But EZScape realized you could mash out of it fast enough, and then your health refills itself to the point where it doesn't really matter. So you can avoid him if you want, or you can just stand still and let him grab you, and then just mash out of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a reference to the show. I think at one point Zoe joins like a wrestling team or something. I'm not quite sure. I feel like I vaguely remember that from when I was a kid.
Yeah, I wish I watched Zoe 101 as a kid. I wasn't really that into it. Like I think just a little too young for the demographic whenever it was coming out. But...
Yeah, I only really watched it because my older sister watched it. I just watched whatever she watched. But it's one of the more interesting Dan Schneider shows because it's the only one without a laugh track. It's like
is it?
yeah, there's no laugh track for it, so it's like it's a sitcom without a laugh track, which is pretty interesting.
Right. So it's not written with like a billion pauses every 5 seconds so people can laugh. All right, we're finally getting into the rat races here. EZScape's heading into the first one here.
So yeah, so you get these items that you have to place to kind of get the rat to go where you want it to go.
Mm-hmm. And you saw with EZScape speeding the rat up there, you have an option in the game to speed them up whenever, at any point, and you want to do that mostly so you can end the level quicker, but also you might be able to move the rat a little bit sooner so you can turn another piece sooner, all that stuff. So pretty much you just hold a button and it'll just speed up the rat, and it is intended by the game. It's not an emulator thing, if you guys were wondering.
Yeah, so this is one of the minigame sections that'll probably take some of the longest time, just because these take a little bit, especially if you start messing them up a little bit. But they're doing pretty well on them so far. It seems like they've got them mostly memorized. There's different ways you could solve each of these, so that you might see them doing different strats for each of them. You see, there's a little rat counter on the thing. So each level, there's a certain amount of times you can fail. And it's pretty easy because you can't pick items back up. So if you place something in the wrong place and you can't finish the level, you just have to run the timer out. And if you fail enough times, it just boots you out to the main menu. You have to start all again. So each level you have to complete 3 rat races. So if you mess up, it's pretty punishing.
Right. And again, this might be a reference to one of the Zoe 101 cartoon, or not cartoon, the show, one of the episodes. But it definitely, when you're playing this game, it definitely makes me think Zoe 101.
Yeah, exactly.
Rat mazes. This is a significant portion of the speedruns, just because it's so fast. It's definitely way faster than a lot of the other mini games.
Yeah. And having to do 3 for each level, and then having to do it 5 times, I think. So you have to do quite a few rat mini games. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you can get different rat mini games for everything. So you have to memorize quite a bit of solutions if you want to go for a really good time.
Right, and you can see. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say I don't know if you were gonna say, but the cheese leads the rat a specific way, so you can use that to save a good amount of time as well.
And then there are items that you can rotate to get the rat to go where you want to. And then I can't remember what I was gonna say for one of the items. All right, Easy got it. he's a little worried there, he's celebrating, but he figured it out.
Yeah, he was a little stuck there, but I think EZScape is still ahead by a little bit. but we'll have to see. They might be pretty close here. It really kind of depends on the rat races they get to, because they could get entirely different ones. And EZScape might just get a ton of really fast ones, or Beescape might.
Yeah, Beescape just got like one of the fastest ones you can get, where you just have to place one item and turn it. Oh, they both got one. So yeah, they're pretty much tied now.
Quick.
They're both going into the second one in this level, so they're cutting this really close.
Yeah, no, this is which is pretty crazy. I mean, Beescape was ahead by like a good 40 seconds earlier, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Easy's been doing really well, and Beescape messed up a little bit on one of the robot levels, so turning it around already.
Yeah, that's nuts. they're getting there. Yeah, they're really, really close.
I believe this is the last rat chase level. I forget what Beescape's timer started on, but this could be kind of close to the world record, because these are pretty good rat races. This might have to be retimed.
Nice.
This is
Yeah,
definitely
you definitely should look into it. I think it was like 40:22 when they started
it was
but-
something like that.
Yeah. So if this is record, that would be pretty awesome.
He's locked in. Oh no, he got it. Never mind. So this rat, every time it hits a wall, it'll turn 90 degrees clockwise. It took a while for me to figure that out, but
All right. It looks like Beescape's trying to do a little bit of fancy maneuvering here. Some of these you just really do have to figure out these interesting strats. And I forget, do the time ups, do they count against you? Do you still have to do a whole nother rat race if you mess one up entirely? Or you just redo the whole thing?
it restarts the one you're on, and then if you run out of
okay.
lives, you can see the rat in the bottom left corner. If you run out of lives, then you have to redo all of them.
Okay. Yeah, I you did explain that earlier, my bad.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, Beescape got through that one there, and now he's into Toon Time, and I think this is this the very last Toon Time game then, right?
Yes, so this is the final mini game. So we're actually not positive what causes this one to end. We're thinking right now, Beescape was looking more into it. We're thinking that it's just a 3-minute timer, and you're just supposed to. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pick the songs in the order it tells you to pick them in. So it'll give you 4, so you want to memorize them and then go through and pick them. And then it adds time to the timer. So we're thinking it's just you have to wait 3 minutes and then you can do it. So it looks like Beescape's probably going here. But because we're not exactly sure, Beescape might eventually let the timer run out when he thinks he's done, and then he doesn't meet whatever the requirement happens to be, and then that would kind of
That would be a massive time loss, basically.
Yeah, minutes.
So we'll see how that goes, but looks like EZScape got out of the rat races with just barely. He almost, if he messed up one more time, I think he would have had to redo some. He would have been out of lives. So now they're both in the mixing section. So
I'm not
mixing music.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I'm looking at the record, and from when I think Beescape's timer started, given that this is 3 minutes, I don't think this can world record, but it'll definitely be second place on the board if I'm thinking of the right time he started at. We'll have to look into it, but I think this will be definitely a second place run.
Nice, so a nice big PB.
Yeah.
Then I think, yeah, awesome.
Saved about 4 minutes from this other time, so great run for him. And then
Right.
EZScape's keeping up too, so he'll end up being probably maybe third place on the board with this run.
Yeah, these are definitely really decent runs for sure. It seems like they put in a good bit of practice, especially for the rat races and the prank week sections. It seems like, they definitely put a good amount of work into this game.
I was really impressed with how they did those.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, the disc golf was perfect, basically. It was really, really well done. All right.
So yeah, they're just waiting until they think they've hit a good time. They're letting the timer run out. Because like I said before, each time you do it, it adds time. So it's pretty scary when you decide to let the timer run out, because we don't know exactly what causes it. So it's just kind of praying that you're done.
See, that's the thing, though. You don't need to know what you're doing to speedrun any game. So you can pick up the game even if you've never played the game before.
Just throw things at the wall.
Run's only one of them.
My record for Victorious Hollywood Arts debut is just my first playthrough. It's terrible. I didn't want to. I was gonna play it twice, and I played it the one time. I was like, no, I'm done. So yeah, they both decided to wait out the timer. So
Yeah,
if they're
looks
both
like-
good, it's about a 10-second
yeah.
time difference.
Yeah, it looks like we'll see how close they are, but if they both win here, then EZScape is going to be ahead by just a little bit. Like, because they were at a 5-second difference when they started this run, so EZScape's going to pull ahead by 5 seconds.
All
I
right,
think,
moment
now.
of truth. So we'll see if it restarts the game or if it gives him the credits. All right, looks like he did it. Yep, there are credits. So it's time for EZScape.
All right. EZScape's got
Alright,
that
thumbs up for
down,
Easy.
and now let's see how
Oh,
EZScape did.
no.
No! EZScape, no!
Oh, that's
Oh,
bad.
man.
That's gonna waste
That
about
is
3 minutes
massive.
for him.
Oh my gosh,
definitely not happy
that
about
is
that.
massive.
Yeah, that gives EZScape a really good advantage going into Drake and Josh. So we'll see how that
man.
ends up for him. But that's
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
That is massive. That's probably one of the worst time losses you could have in any of these games.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
I've been
mean,
in
for
those
sure
games
it's
like
going to
70
be.
seconds.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's definitely an easy mistake to make because, again, nobody in the community, as far as we know, we're not totally aware of why it works or why the game ends, depending on like we don't know exactly what the requirement is to finish. But it looks like Easy was taking it a little close there just to see if he could possibly be a little bit
Catch up.
closer there on their times.
But it ended up costing him quite a bit of time. But like I said, Drake and Josh is kind of wild. It's definitely possible to catch up there, but it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, it really kind of depends. Drake and Josh has a lot of crazy stuff that some of it's a little hard, and I could definitely see 3 minutes of time save being happening. It's going to be hard for EZScape to catch up, but I think he could do it still for sure.
Yeah,
It's going to be really interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, because while these first two have been minigame collections, Drake and Josh is an actual game with like speedrun tech. That's not just like basic manipulation. You're just doing minigames quickly. So
Yeah,
like,
it actually is pretty impressive looking.
a special thanks to Dan Schneider on EZScape's screen there at the end of the credits. The Lord of Feet himself.
Oh man.
Looks like
I'm hoping
Easy.
Dan Schneider makes like a fighting game someday of all of his characters. It'd be too good.
Look
Needs
at
to happen.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna mercy kill it because it's never happened in practice before. I mean,
no, that's okay.
the second time I was just tilted, so I lost because of that. But
okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well, sweet. So we're gonna keep the time difference then there, just at the 106.
yeah, you're gonna end it there.
Okay.
Like I've done that about 8 times in practice. Never once happened to me.
Yeah, it definitely seems really weird.
It's such a weird game. It's a shame that it doesn't like explain itself better.
I guess I could have went for safety. I mean, I just didn't expect it to not work. So after that, then I was like, I'm already losing so much time. I just like didn't know even what to do at that point. Because then I have to play it safe on top of already losing, and then I'd be losing even more time. So it just sucked.
Yeah. No, I feel that. No worries, man. No worries at all.
But yeah, I guess we're gonna move on to Drake and Josh now.
Drake and Josh is gonna be great. You guys are gonna definitely be.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys should definitely be hyped for this run. And Drake and Josh is a super cool looking run, so it'll be sweet.
Yeah, so I actually don't have a run on the board for Drake and Josh yet. I'm planning on buying it soon, or not buying it, playing it soon. But it's a pretty intimidating looking run to get into.
Oh yeah, I mean, it seems like the top level runs are definitely really well done. Like people have routed that game really well. It seems like a good bit of work has been put into it, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see. And for anyone who doesn't know, that game really only kind of blew up because EZScape put out a bounty for it at one point, did a little speedrun challenge for it, and so now the board's pretty hefty, and the time pretty significantly from what world record originally was. Because back when I was originally going to run against it, there were only 2 runs on the board. and now there's let me check how many there are. There's
I'm not sure. There's a
16 on
good
the board
amount.
now. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
16 on
Drake
the
and
board
Josh
now.
has a surprising amount of runners. I forget, did EZScape put out the bounty for the Joshua Kazam levels, or
No, just
I
for
forget
any
what it
percent.
was. Oh, okay. The Joshua Kazam levels run is pretty nuts too, though. That stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, especially because world record is like 2 minutes faster than second place because they got the game on official hardware and figured out a trick to kind of skip a lot of the levels essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
So it's a pretty fun meme run. And then Drake and Josh itself is a pretty good run.
All right, we're gonna go to intermission here. Sorry about the wait for that.
Yep, and then we'll be back with Drake and Josh.
Okay, sweet. All right, guys. So we're gonna be loading up the last game, which is gonna be Drake and Josh Talent Showdown. And this game is pretty hype. I definitely would say out of all of the games, this is going to be probably the most exciting one because this game is actually genuinely a pretty good speed game.
Yeah, yeah, it's very surprising how clean it ended up looking, especially if you go and you watch World Record. Whoever ran it gets most of the clips first try. It's very impressive to watch. It's pretty cool. It's also a surprisingly long game for a licensed game.
Yeah, it has a good amount of levels and stuff that you need to do. If you're playing the game casually, I definitely imagine it would take a couple of hours, even though it's a fairly simple game.
Yeah, yeah. Because even like in the run, you're skipping most of the levels. It's still a 40-minute run. So they put time into it. This is actually the second Drake and Josh game. No one's done a run of the first game, which is just called Drake and Josh. Yeah. But that one's also a pretty sick run. No one's run it before, but someone for some reason made a task of it, and the task has a lot of like cool tricks on it. Like there's like glitching through walls and like skipping things. I messed around with it a bunch. I kind of learned from the task route and figured out how to run it and do most of the tricks. But the game is kind of like a little poorly programmed, or maybe it's just on how I was running it. But I was mashing through text, and when I was mashing through text, it kind of ended up causing the game to soft lock.
So one thing is, I'm not getting any screen feed. Are you, Obama?
No, I'm not, but it's up on the stream. There we go.
Now we are. There we go. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sweet. Sorry, we were just making sure. So now the run is starting. They both start when they create a new file here. And as you can see, this game is like a game where it's top-down view, but you run around in a 3D world. And there's a lot of things you can collect, a lot of enemies you have to run around or squirt with your squirt gun. I forget, Obama, you know why they have like the squirt gun stuff, right? All the different squirt gun
yes, so there's
stuff basically.
This thing called Josh Kazam, and there's 80 levels of it, and as you play through those levels, you'll unlock upgrades. So for these things, so you always have them, but you can make them last longer. And one of the abilities is sprinting, so that really saves a lot of time. And then later in a different level, the water gun is very important. But you can see they're kind of we haven't been explaining these clips so far, but you can see them kind of just like getting themselves stuck between objects and glitching themselves into the wall. So this game does not seem like a very good casual game, if I'm being honest. But the collision is very, very bad. So most of these skips for the levels, they're going to be just getting themselves stuck between two objects, glitching into a wall, and running to the end game. They also went out of their way to talk to specific NPCs and get certain prompts to come up to make sure that they loaded the items to get the level trigger to spawn, because not every level starts the level trigger spawn. So
right, some levels you have to. Right, some levels you have to grab an item or talk to somebody, or basically just reach a certain point so the level loading trigger spawns. And then some levels you can just go pretty much right to the end of the level. Because the level ending trigger is just there. So
but as you can see, they ended that level pretty much exactly in sync. So while there's a surprising amount of ways this could go wrong, it's a pretty close race so far, so it'll be very interesting to see. But yeah, basically
they've been getting a lot of these clips really well. Like that was really well done.
Yeah,
right there.
Great.
Definitely getting those clips down well. So
yeah, so the water gun itself, as you can probably see from when they're using it, they're just spraying the bullies who are the enemies in the games, and it just stuns them. And if you spray them for long enough, they fall over and they're out of commission for a little bit.
One thing is Drake. You can switch between Drake and Josh, right? And Drake just moves significantly faster. So Drake is used for a lot of the run.
Yeah, I think they only use Josh when the game forces them to for certain levels where you don't have access to Drake, because I think sometimes Drake gets replaced for Megan.
Right.
But it seems like EZScape's struggling a little bit with this trick. So what they're doing here is they're trying to pull the bully and manipulate him into walking to a very specific spot, and then having him grab them in a specific way that kind of moves them, so they can set him up as kind of like an object, so they can use him to push themselves into the wall. But EZScape's having a little trouble. It is a pretty hard trick to get. He finally got it there.
Nice.
He pushed himself against the bully to slip into the wall because the collision in this game is terrible. And so EZScape's got a pretty good lead right now. And right now they're doing guitar. If you want to explain that.
Right, and this game has amazing music. If you guys couldn't tell, it's quality MIDI action. It's pretty great. Basically, these rhythm sections are just auto-scrolling sections that you use your little touch screen and strum across the strings whenever the notes come to the end of the bar. It's not really very hard at all, but yeah, it's just kind of an excuse to throw in some songs. I don't think they threw in. Did they throw in any songs from the actual show? I don't think they did.
I think the theme song is the last guitar level. So there's 5 of them. I think the Drake and Josh theme, like a MIDI version of it, is the last one you play. So
right. So these other songs are mostly just really clunky, weird MIDI songs, but this whole game just has an incredible soundtrack. You guys should definitely. I don't know if Silver Gun ever made a rip of these, but somebody ought to.
The joke is he edits them and makes them sound good.
So who's the current world record holder? Do you know?
The current world record holder? No, I'll pull that up real quick.
Yeah, that would be good to know, just because somebody in chat is curious. So.
Current world record for this game is 39 minutes 43 seconds by AP Brooks 110.
AP Brooks 110. Okay.
So that's a runner that started running when EZScape put up the bounty for this game. And it's a very good run. Yeah, before the bounty, there were only about I think there were only 2 runs on the board. From Sir Pudge, the moderator, and Chainsword CS. Chainsword had the 80% record. There are a decent bit of runs for all Josh Kazam levels, though. If you go to the board, almost everyone who's run all Josh Kazam levels is from Brazil. Except for
it got really popular.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it was pretty popular in Brazil. So that's a fun meme category to watch. But yeah,
it's a pretty neat category, especially if you look at first place. It's pretty well done. The person went really hard at learning how to get through those levels really quickly.
Oh yeah.
So there's still more MIDI action going on. These sections are a little long.
Yeah, they're about 3 minutes.
The thing is, yeah, they're nice little chill sections though. Like if you're reading chat and stuff, it's good to just have a little section to just kind of think about what you're going to be doing for the next levels. Think through all that. So yeah, all right. EZScape's finally through that first rhythm section here. He's going to switch to Drake immediately so he can run fast. And then he's going to be running along here. They pick up these trophies along the way, but those trophies are not required at all to finish the game. They're just kind of in the way, so that's why they pick them up. Yeah,
I think someone has routed an all trophies run, but no one's done it, so it's not on the boards. Because I'm not sure if you get anything for them or if it's even really worth getting them, but there are quite a few if you wanted to hurt yourself.
All right, if you want a 100% Drake and Josh on the Nintendo DS, by all means.
Yeah, so they're going to the corner of this level, EZScape, and he's using the chairs to clip himself through the wall to run around the level and go to the end of the level.
Yeah, that's another one of those levels that just have their loading trigger already spawned whenever you start the level. So you can just go like pretty much right to the end, it seems.
Yeah, because the collision's so bad, you can pretty much get out of bounds on just about any level in the game.
Right, as long as something's close enough to the wall, or if it's just a wonky corner or something, it looks like it's just pretty easy to get through them.
EZScape got both of those clips really fast with the table and then the chair, and I think those are some of the kind of tougher clips in the game to get, so that was really well done.
Yeah, so, that looks seamless. I mean, honestly, some of the clips just look like you just kind of run through the wall and the wall just has no collision at all, but it's pretty ridiculous.
It just kind of comes down to how you waggle your character and stuff, and sometimes you want to walk, sometimes you want to run to make them a bit easier, but so far Easy's had a pretty perfect run.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad at all. It's been really good.
It'll end up being pretty high on the leaderboard if he doesn't end up messing anything up.
Nice. Beescape got those clips pretty quick as well, especially that last clip in that level. So we'll see. EZScape's definitely pulling ahead here. Easy could save quite a bit of time and be able to pull ahead, which would be one heck of a comeback. That would be an insane comeback for sure. All right. Let's see. So this level is like a dark level. Super hard to see.
Right. This clip they're doing at the end here, they're using this one enemy to kind of clip themselves in between him and that door. So once again, Easy did it perfectly. That trick actually before in the original in the world record by Chainsword back when there were 2 runners, that involved bringing a bully over there and lodging yourself between that bully and the football player. And it was a very, very hard trick to do. I tried for a while to get it and I couldn't even get it. So thankfully someone figured out a much easier method, but it's still, you know, you gotta make sure you get them in the exactly right spot and everything, so.
That level's pretty good. You have to avoid enemies. The one EZScape just finished. You just need to avoid enemies, and pretty much that's super easy as long as you just hold right.
Beescape barely got that clip at the end there right before the enemy attacked him, so it worked out.
Nice, nice. All right, so with the water gun as well, you can use the water gun to interact with some objects as well, correct? There's some like fans and stuff you can spray, and all this other stuff you can do with the water gun.
And then there's a level that's designed around the water gun later on, and they're actually going to be doing a trick in that level where if they run out of water, they can't complete the level and they end up soft locking the game and having to exit out and retry it.
Hopefully they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is one of the first few levels here. EZScape's on one of the levels that requires you to play as Josh. So you can see Josh is quite a bit slower, but then he has the Josh Kazam sections where Josh will just perform magic on these enemies. And I think you can use that to get an item, right?
I think you have to go around and you have to just impress a certain number of
right.
the ones with the aura around them, but yeah, it's pretty much distracting the enemies. I'm not quite sure what the lore implications of it are.
Right. Basically, Josh wants to show off his magic.
Yeah, basically.
So.
And you see they're playing those little mini games on the bottom screen. Those are pretty much those are what the Josh Kazam levels are. Just when you do them for the Josh Kazam levels section in the menus of the game, there's a timer on each of them, and then there's 80 you go through.
Yeah, and you can save tons of time on them by using a little exploit where pretty much the game kind of tries to track if you cheese the game by just like lifting your pen up and then putting it at the end of the maze, but it seems like as long as you just get the little circle moving along on the maze just a little bit, then you can just set it to the end anyway. So
yeah. So it's been figured out how to skip those pretty easily at this point. And it's to the point where the world record for all Josh Kazam levels, even though it's 80 levels long, is 2 minutes and 26 seconds. So
yeah, it's insane. It really is a really well done run.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. But yeah, so right now they're walking around and just trying to distract all these guys in order to finish up the level requirement.
Yeah, and as you can see, it also is it's not even really that much harder to clip with Josh. It seems like it doesn't even really matter how fast you're going. It's just the collision is just that bad.
Yeah,
but
you slide into it, you're good. So they're using that to get to each of these people faster. But unfortunately, there's no like end level trigger besides performing magic for all of them. So EZScape's going ahead and he's moving into the next guitar section here. This is the 2nd out of 5, I believe.
It's very cat jam worthy.
And
Gotta love this music.
Finish up this level. There's still not too big of a time difference after this. It just kind of takes one bad level or really bad clip from EZScape for Beescape to catch back up. So and there's quite a bit of the run left as well. It seems like Beescape messed up the routing maybe at some point and lost where he's supposed to go, so he's going to be restarting this level, which is going to be
nice.
rough for him.
Yeah, it's
But,
gonna be bad for him, but that's gonna give EZScape a pretty good way to catch up. So we'll see. It might make the timers a lot closer whenever it gets to the end.
yeah,
We'll have
yeah,
to
for
see.
sure.
But yeah, EZScape's gonna do this level again here, and he's gonna just try again so that he makes sure. I think he might have accidentally missed somebody or something, but we'll see how he pulls ahead here. EZScape could definitely still end up getting ahead even with the loss there, because
Yeah.
EZScape might end up messing up some clips, or EZScape might even have to restart a level, so it really definitely isn't over yet.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah, for
be
sure.
interesting to see how this plays out.
But for now, just kind of waiting for the auto scroller to go through.
Yeah, the auto scrollers are so long.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, especially because the music for them is particularly fun to listen to. So
Yeah, I think that's probably like half of the time that you play in the game is auto scrollers, probably.
yeah,
But the other half is really cool.
I remember Beastscape was saying that they were about 3 minutes long each. So because there's 5 of them, that's about 15 minutes of the 40-minute run.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, quite a sizable portion, which is unfortunate, but you know, it's what you got to do to
Right.
go fast, I guess.
Right.
That's part of what made running at Carly so bad too, is because it would take 8 minutes to finish webisode 1. So you know, even if you had a good menu and then pies, it took 8 minutes before you could even try the hell tutorial.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, whenever you have just massive amounts of time where it doesn't really matter how well you do in certain sections, and you're just anticipating the one section that matters, it can it can be just kind of lame, because yeah, if you get like 8 minutes into a run and then there's just this one part where you're trying to save 1 second,
Yeah,
it's
for
pretty ridiculous if
someone
you
20
reset
minutes into
just
the
because
run.
of it.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I got to play for things that counted for a total of 5 seconds in this 20-minute run so far, so.
Right. Like, oh, I might have missed menuing, but like missed 1 second of menuing, and that's the whole run. There you go. You know, it's kind of lame, but definitely one of the nice things about games like Drake and Josh is there's a lot more skill involved. With just getting through the walls, doing the clips, doing the Josh and Kazam levels quick. So a lot more of a rewarding type of game, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. So right now, EZScape's on this level where you there's a couple levels of these where you want to play as Josh and you just want to impress all these judges by completing these levels. In a later version of this level, there's tricks where you can get 2 judges at once. But for now, it's just going one by one and not messing any of them up. The hit detection on them is also weird, so you want to make sure you're standing in the right way. I think there's a tiny kind of visual cue from them if they're looking at you or not when you're doing it, but you can do those tricks and have no one locked onto you, and then if you don't notice the visual cue didn't trigger that they saw what you did, then you could end up not knowing which judge you didn't impress yet. But it looks like Beastscape was kind of starting the guitar level not long after EZScape finished, so he's probably around 3 minutes behind right now.
Yeah, he's not too far, but EZScape's definitely got a good lead going for Drake and Josh because of that reset that Beastscape did on that level. So
his skips are still looking really clean, and we're in a different section. I
Yeah.
can tell they're not really in like the school anymore. Now that said, I haven't read the cutscenes for this game, so I'm not quite sure exactly where they are.
They're in
for the
some
game.
place.
Yeah, they're somewhere for something.
They're there for lore reasons. But...
Yeah, to do magic and play guitar.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is, but yeah, I forget if they really go into much detail at all, even in the cutscenes and stuff. They're in a hotel. That's what somebody said. They're in a hotel. There
Yeah,
you go.
iCarly and Zoe 101, those games were pretty decent at sticking close to, you know, the idea of the shows, or at least referencing them. But Drake and Josh, it really doesn't seem like there's anything about these that are inherently Drake and Josh other than the fact that Drake and Josh are in the game.
Right. Also, gotta love the art style of this game. Drake looks great.
Oh yeah, he looks
Drake looks
photorealistic, really.
right.
Um,
I mean, it's like you'd think maybe they just should, I don't know, just like take a picture of his face and put it on there. But I think they did good. I think it's good. Honestly, looks even better than they possibly could have ever tried to make it more. If they were more realistic, it would have been bad.
That's the weird thing about this game, where it's like it's strange how many levels they put into the game and how long it seems, but also how low effort it is.
Yeah.
iCarly does like a pretty decent job of like matching up things to the show. It's still like a 40-minute game, even like casually, whereas this is a 40-minute speed run. But it seems like a lot less care was put into it as well, so it's kind of a weird dynamic there.
Yeah, so EZScape's walking out of bounds here. As you can see, there's a little bit of a area that you can walk around out of bounds there. There's some levels where going out of bounds through for the whole entire level, you can walk around out of bounds outside of the level, but most of the time you can't just walk back in bounds. But that particular level has an area that you could just walk inbounds in from outside, so it's definitely really nice and saves quite a bit of time. A lot of these levels just save so much time because you could just walk to the end of the levels. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so EZScape in this level, he tried to stun that bully so he wouldn't keep walking through and trying to grab him, because the bullies can kind of walk through objects almost to try and grab you. It's very strange. And he's trying to glitch himself between this door security guard and the door itself, but he's having some trouble and the bully woke back up, so he's got to knock him out again.
Alright.
This is really the first clip that's kind of gone pretty poorly for him so far.
Yeah, no, it definitely could give Beescape a bit more of a good catching up time. A good amount of time to catch up. So Beescape is into this the hotel levels now. He finished up his rhythm section, so he's gonna do a lot of these clips here. And first clip he got pretty well. That second clip was a little wonky, but he still got it pretty quick. And now he's just out of bounds and needs to walk to. Looks like, yeah, these pillars, it seems like you can clip back into them. So as long as you have some type of object you can collide through, that is the way you can get back in. But most of the levels don't seem to have them, except the hotel levels.
Okay, it looks like EZScape got it. So that was a tough clip,
Nice.
but he eventually got it. So he hasn't lost his lead or anything yet. And we're actually getting into a boss fight here, I think.
Yeah, kind of.
Where you'll just want to stun him as Josh and then spray him as Drake. Is kind of the what you go for.
Right. And
Seems like he's got.
their.
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm done.
Okay. Do you know what the boss is? Like he's just some guy in the hotel, right?
Yeah, he's got nothing to do with the show. I can't remember what his name is.
Some guy.
Has the name, yeah. But my favorite Drake and Josh character.
Some guy.
Oh,
boss.
Travis. Travis is his name.
Travis, right? Oh, okay, Travis.
Yeah, if you remember him.
Is Travis? I don't remember Travis from Drake and Josh at all. I don't know if there was a Travis, but alright, so EZScape got to the next level here. He's going to have to pick up a bunch of these stars, and I think, does he need all of them to get to the end? I'm pretty sure he does, right?
I think he does, yes. I think that's what causes the level to end or loads the level trigger.
Yeah, I imagine he's not grabbing them for no reason, but...
Yeah, this level's routed out pretty well, because it seems fairly non-linear, but he's getting through it pretty fast.
Right. Yeah, it really is. The movement in this game is really well routed out. It's pretty nuts. It is just very fast looking, in my opinion. Like, they're just running through walls and they know exactly where they're going. So
it's the run you can just look at and tell it's impressive when it's done.
The lore is so much that it's just way too much for anyone to comprehend at all. Like, no human could possibly even try. All right, so Beescape got that end level trigger there behind the stairs. It's a neat little end trigger there. You can hit. I think normally you're supposed to be going up the stairs, but since the trigger goes below the stairs, you can just hit it out of bounds, which is pretty cool.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's pretty self-explanatory, but you've probably seen it up to this point, so I'll just mention it. The bullies, whenever they get close to you, they just grab you. You have to shake the stylus back and forth on the bottom screen to break out. So every time they grab you, it's a little bit of time loss, unless you have them grab you on purpose to get them in the right position for a skip. But it seems like EZScape got that doorman clip really, really fast. So that's
Yeah,
going to really help him catch up to EZScape.
Yeah, that definitely gave him like a good minute or two. Or about a minute and a half to work with. The EZScape took a little bit of time on that, so so that's a good catching up there. EZScape is on to the next rhythm section here, so feel free to jam out if you want this amazing music.
And Beescape is fighting Travis. It seems like he got him manipulated well, so he got through that no problem. So
Nice.
On to the next level.
Yeah,
for him.
that went really well. I think Beescape did that level very well for sure. All right.
And
Now
not to
he's
mention,
on to the-
Beescape has some time save on EZScape, so even if EZScape beats this game faster than him, EZScape could still end up winning the whole tournament.
Yeah. Out of all three of the games, Beescape has quite a bit of a lead here, so even though he's behind a little bit, that getting that clip really quick definitely helped him catch up, and he probably overall is a little bit more ahead. It's hard to say, but we'll definitely be able to see a little closer to the end. But yeah, EZScape's ahead in the actual this particular game right now, though. So.
But the challenge for him is not only does he have to win, he has to win by multiple minutes in order to make sure that he wins the whole event.
Right. All right. So Beescape is done with that level. He's moving on to another hotel level here. He just needs to grab some more of these cards.
His movement seems pretty decent so far. So I'm wondering if he'll be able to get to this rhythm game before EZScape is done with it. That'll give us
we could definitely
how far behind they are.
Right. We'll definitely see. Why is EZScape's time higher? So the way that they are racing all of these games, they are starting the first game and then ending their pausing their timers once their runs are over, and then in between each game they need to set up for every other game because they're on different consoles. So pretty much they're starting every game at the same time, but they are keeping their timers at what they were when they ended the other runs. So EZScape, for instance, ended iCarly at 40:17 and Beescape ended at 40:22. And once they started Zoe 101, EZScape started with a 40:17 and added that on, and with Beescape started with 40:22. I might not have explained that super well, but hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, you can ask again. Is this the last game? This is the last game in the race, yes.
Yeah, so whatever their final timers end up being after this is going to determine who is the winner.
All right, sweet. So Beescape is now in the rhythm section here. I think he got into there just about as EZScape ended his, so it's still a good little chunk of time that EZScape could win. We'll see.
So there's about a 3-minute difference ish between the two of them. So
right.
It's really anyone's game as far as who wins the tournament right now.
Yeah, it is about 3 minutes, it looks like. So
this is another level where you have to take Josh and distract all these people with this purple aura around them. But thankfully you have Drake in this level and not Megan. So they're using him to run around and clip through the level to get to these guys faster for Josh to do his magic on.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Just not it is really nuts how well routed this is. They definitely seems like they put they just really do as little as they need to for every level. They're not doing a ton of extra optional stuff that because there's just clips for everything.
Yeah, yeah. They
There's just
only
clips
get the
to get
items
through
that
everything.
they need to get, and then they move on.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them, it's like even when they don't have a trigger at the end of the level, you just still clip through tons and tons of walls just to save so much movement. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many clips are done just to save a few seconds. I'm sure that adds up
Right.
over the run. It seems pretty optimized. I'd love to see a
Yeah,
task
oh,
game, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think it would be pretty neat. I don't think many of the Dan Schneider games at all have TASes, so
Yeah, the
all
only I
you
know,
TASers out there.
we're big fans of Nickelodeon live action sitcoms. Get on it. The only tasks I know for any Nickelodeon games based on the sitcoms are the Drake and Josh GBA game and Victorious taking the
Oh,
lead.
right.
Yes.
No, that's true. You did say Drake and Josh actually does have a TAS. I was wrong. Were you saying that taking the lead for the DS version then, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's just the rhythm game. It's different from the Wii version, which is the whole like go through and like click adventure and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be. I haven't seen it, and I've run Victorious. I should know this. But anyway, all right. So EZScape finished that level, and Bscape is out of the rhythm section here, so he is starting on these next few levels. And how many rhythm sections are there? You said there's like about 5 or 6.
There's
Right?
5. So the last level is
Okay.
the 5th guitar level.
All right, now EZScape is in the Western themed levels because you gotta have some Western themed levels in Drake and Josh. And
Yeah, the whole season where they were cowboys in the Old West.
yeah, you guys know the cowboy arc. So yeah, Bscape is also going through. He's again having to go and basically impress all of the football players and then run away from them as Drake and just clip through the wall here to get to the next section. It's actually a film set. Well, I mean, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see it being a film set. That makes sense. I forget, was there a Western themed? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Western themed episode at some point, but
I
remember
don't
any of
think there
this.
was. I watched quite a lot of Drake and Josh as a kid. I don't believe they had
Yeah.
any put on cowboy hats or anything of the sort.
Maybe. Yeah, I have no idea myself. I watched a bit, but I kind of dropped off at a certain point once the show got pretty far along. Drake and Josh ran for quite a while, at least with those extra movies and stuff they did.
Oh yeah, it got 4 seasons and 2 movies. The one movie came out like pretty long after the show ended, but it ran for quite a while.
They didn't time travel. No, I mean, really, it's a shame. There's so much good stuff. They should have made episodes out of this game. This game has so many great ideas.
Yeah, I think
Alright,
the scene
so-
where Megan dies would have been a lot better if it was like an old West gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely go a lot of ways with it, but all right. So Bscape is also in these Western themed levels now. So you kind of are running through as Megan here. I forget. You can't play as Drake here, right? Or there's a specific reason why you're playing as Megan, correct?
I think you're only able to play as Megan in this level. I could be wrong, but if it is, it's just because she has the fire extinguisher, and so she can trip up all these enemies because there's a lot of enemies over here. I also noticed that these levels are significantly larger than all the other levels they've played, and they're going to find the right items they need. And I'm assuming they have these maps up because someone actually got the maps from the levels from the game files.
Wow.
It's easier to like use those as reference.
It'd be way easier to navigate.
Yeah, just because these levels are so big. So that's what most people use when they speedrun these levels to make sure they don't lose their way.
Okay, and you can also play as Josh apparently, but Megan just moves faster, so yeah, that makes sense that you would use Meg then. Megan. So yeah, EZScape's definitely still cruising, and Bscape is also cruising, and yep, it seems like mostly these levels right now, it's just you just need to pick up a good amount of objects and then get to the end of the level. So There's a couple of clips you do in these sections, but it seems like most of them aren't. Like some of them just aren't quite. Like a lot of areas, it's just way faster to just go through the door. So.
But it seems
Alright.
like BZ's doing a pretty good job of catching up. So I'm very curious to see how far apart they are. So BZ's going into the fourth guitar level. So then we'll have one more kind of like section of levels, and then there'll be moving on to the last guitar. The game doesn't
That
end.
RuneScape ass horse in the back.
Oh yeah, no, the
So good. That
3D
art
models
is
are
perfect.
impeccable. Yeah, I also like how the guys, when you trip them up while they're walking, they just keep sliding infinitely.
Yeah, some of them will slide, like, some of them can slide, like, all the way across the level, can't they?
Yeah, and I don't think they have collision when they do that, so they can just like float through walls and stuff.
Yeah, this game's ridiculous.
I think that's the person taking pictures of you, but it looks like a muzzle flare. It looks like Megan's being shot at.
Thank goodness this game makes it very clear there's no violence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much anyway.
But
Oh
the
man.
game doesn't. Even though the guitar is the last level, the fifth guitar, it doesn't end right as the level ends. There's still a little bit of. I think there's like a cutscene after that. You click through and then time ends.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is the fourth rhythm section here, and then there's going to be one more section of levels, and then yeah. So yep, EZScape is cruising along still. He just needs to grab one more object and get on over to the end of the level. Looks like you just collect like lassos and stuff. Some
Yeah.
Western stuff. It's kind of hard to tell just because it's so. They're just like, I don't know, the DS models are kind of hard to tell sometimes what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but it looks like they're both on this rhythm section at the same time. So it looks like DZ's mostly caught up to Easy. So Easy's gonna have to gain some more lead here to have the shorter time.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be kind of hard, I think, for Easy to catch up. He definitely could, especially because again, there's so many clips that you can do throughout the levels that if any of them mess him up at all, then that's just more and more time that either of them can catch up. So
Yeah,
still
but
not over yet.
I think it's gonna end up being pretty close to the end, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it should be pretty close for sure. Yeah, it seems like he is a good bit ahead, probably. EZScape. So, gosh, this music's so good though. I love the songs in this game.
Oh yeah, no, they're fantastic.
Can't stress it enough. Oh man.
I think Easy was saying earlier that he plays the game with the music muted just because
Turns it off, yeah.
there's just like a bunch of like really short looping tracks, especially if you keep resetting, you gotta keep listening to the same song over and over and over again. I was trying to play the game the other day and I tapped out just because I couldn't handle listening to the music anymore.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, I wonder if there's some games where you can like edit MIDI files. I wonder if they are MIDI files and if you could just put in your own custom songs, make some like Clone Hero, Drake and Josh, Talent Showdown.
Just have them
That'd be
play
great.
some Queen music or something.
Right, something good.
So
Right,
you saw
so-
earlier that EZScape, he moved those boys into place to clip himself through the wall, and now he's going and shooting these turbines, and you want to shoot them all with enough water to activate them.
This
And
is
then,
one big reason why getting all of the Joshua Kazam levels done before you do runs is important, because that section and a couple other sections, you require a lot of water. So if you don't have the upgrades for that before you do the run, then you will definitely run out of water.
yeah, you'll have to
At
keep
some
going
point.
to the water fountain to refill your water, especially at the one level I mentioned earlier that were Easy might be on it right now. I'm not quite sure. I remember there's like 3 turbines in that level. but at a certain point you clip through a wall with no water fountain in it, and there's no exit unless you unlock the door, which they don't do because it's not as fast. So if you run out of water in that room, you have to reset the level because you can't refill your water. So it's really good to have the extra water for that, just to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right. But yeah, it's just a nice little thing that getting those extra little upgrades helps a lot, and it is still out in the run, so everybody does runs with that, and it's pretty good. It definitely makes the run a little bit less tedious in some places.
Yeah.
You don't have to just run back and forth to get water all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And if anyone who's interested in speedrunning this game, there's a Discord server for this game, and it has a save file with the Josh Kazam levels already completed, so you don't have to do all 80 levels yourself.
Yeah, so there you go.
Download that save file and boot it up.
Of course, after obtaining a legitimate copy of the game yourself. Of course.
And, yeah.
Of course. You know.
And then loading on
yeah. I just love the sliding. I just love how they just slide forever.
So Travis is back for revenge, so Easy's fighting him right now. And it seems like it's pretty much exactly the same boss fight as the first one.
Yeah, I don't even think he has more health.
No,
It's just exactly the same.
Yeah, it's not really surprising, but it seems like he got through that pretty no problem once again.
Yep, so EZScape is definitely... He's cruising. He got that clip real quick there. Like a lot of these clips, they've definitely been getting down really well, so they've definitely been putting a good amount of practice into them, or they're just getting really lucky. But I think they probably put a good amount of time into learning the clips, which is good.
Yeah, they've been working.
Some of them are a little tricky
on learning these games for a bit, so it's cool to see them get through it so fast. I'm wondering if they're going to end up submitting these times to the boards. I hope they do, because I'd like to see the exact times for each of these games that they have.
Right. Easy just ended that level there really quick. That's one of the quickest levels. You just run through the wall to the end trigger.
It's always satisfying to get those that just end immediately.
Right. Alright, so Easy's finally on the level where you need to impress a ton of judges with your Joshua Kazam stuff. And Easy's trying to get the 2-for-1 there, where you can impress 2 judges at once if you stand at just the right spot in between them. So hopefully he'll get it, but it saves a good amount of time because obviously you're getting 2 done at once. It looks like he might have missed that one there.
Yeah, they have like really minor animations that serve as cues for if you if you impress them or not. So that's what they're looking for to make sure that they got them. But it's pretty easy to miss them. And they're pretty finicky when you go into the 2-for-1. But yeah, I think ideally in this one, you get 2 2-for-1s, and then you go and impress the final judge on his own.
And that definitely saves a good bit of time. Good chunk of time. It's just really tough. Alright. And Easy's on the final rhythm section here. So if you guys have Easy's audio going through, then yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoy the Drake and Josh theme song. It's also in MIDI, right? I honestly don't know.
It's not the actual it's not like a rip of the theme song. It's its own little version of it. But so because
sure
it's an auto-scroller,
game could even have like pretty decent audio. I don't know why they just did MIDI for this.
it would have been a little crunchy, but I guess whatever.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so this last level, because it's an auto-scroller, EZScape's definitely finishing this game faster than BZ has, but we'll end up and figure out who actually won when we see the final time that BZ gets, and we'll look at the timers on the bottom and see who took the least amount of time overall.
Yeah, because again, if you guys weren't here to hear, the reason the timers aren't the same at the bottom is because we're combining all of the time that it took for each of them to complete each 3 of the 3 games, and then the time in between the games wasn't counted, and we made sure to start both of them started each game at the same time, just so that the races would be a little bit closer and easier to watch. So you guys could see who was like ahead or behind a little easier, but that's the reason why the timer on the bottom is a little different. So we'll see whether or not Easy has this win, or if EZScape will still maintain his pretty decent lead.
And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the time's not going to stop exactly as this level for Easy stops. He's going to have to skip through a little bit of dialogue, and then he'll be able to call time for that.
Looks like, yeah, EZScape's been doing some of the judges as well, and he's getting stung bad by the photographer. Right. Sorry, might be having a little bit of jump there. Okay.
Stream for a second, so it's loading back in, but there we go.
No worries. Yeah, didn't miss much there. EZScape was just impressing some more judges, getting a little bit more of that done, and Easy was just getting some more song completed, you know. Some more auto scrolling. So thankfully, you didn't really miss anything there.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I guess they made a MIDI version of the full song too, not even just like the TV version. They just really wanted time for this game.
Oh man, that's so rough. That's so long.
Yeah.
So EZScape is getting closer to the end of this section here, and EZScape is just starting the final song here. And then there's a little bit more after the songs end, and then I think time should be coming up not very long after that. So
yeah, it's just like a couple seconds to skip the cutscene. So
yeah, so I'm thinking, gosh, it's gonna be hard to say. It is really, really close.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how long that auto scroller is. So, and
all right,
time for Easy.
All right, Easy's got a 1:50.112 for the whole race. Now let's see how EZScape can, let's see if he manages to get through this. I think it'll be really, really close. Like, it's going to be very, very close on the timer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for 3 individual games being run back-to-back, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It probably helps that iCarly, it doesn't have much time difference, but it's still, like, Zoe 101, like, there could be minutes and time difference from that just based on how all your minigames go. And Drake and Josh, for how difficult of a run it is and how much like time you can actually save if you do these clips well, they ended up not making too much of a time difference in this game.
Yeah, it was crazy. Very, very good race for sure. All right. Yeah, we'll see. I'm eagerly awaiting. EZScape's just gotta do some more clicking.
Some more amazing guitar. Some more amazing music.
I love rhythm games.
It reminds me of in Victoria's.
Yes, rhythm games are funny.
Hollywood Arts debut. There's like a rhythm mini game you have to play a bunch of times, but because none of the games in that game have a score requirement, you just sit there while you hear like a really bad audio version of the song, one of the songs on TV, and they don't even have that many songs. They make you play the mini game way more, so you have to play a bunch of those songs multiple times. It's really it's unmanageable to play that game.
Nah, for sure. Some rhythm games are totally like that. That's a big problem with rhythm games that let you pick the songs that you're doing. Is you can just, most of the time for speedruns, it's way faster to just spam the same shortest song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. All right.
So
I'm so close, dude. It's 12 seconds away. It's so close. Oh man. Oh my gosh.
Cutscenes after this, so it looks like Easy might.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Easy might have just barely pulled ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Drake and Josh kind of ended up changing it, but I think that's.
Yeah, no, that was a big one. Easy took. Yeah, he definitely got through a lot of that really quick. So I'm not too surprised that Easy was able to pull ahead here. So that was a very, very close race. Like that's a good 20-second difference maybe. Yeah, GG on all that.
Nice.
Go.
Good time for these games. So that's going to be the end of the races.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, that was definitely crazy. That was very, very close for the whole entire thing. So yeah, insane. And the Drake and Josh runs were really good too. So
Oh yeah, they did a great job.
yeah,
you know,
Zoe 101 was good. Drake and Josh went well.
Mm.
iCarly was iCarly. So
Wow, what a race, guys!
awesome.
that was crazy, dude. That was so
I think
close
close it
at
ended
the
up
end. That was insane.
Reminder:
You guys
that's
killed
my
it with this.
first full completed speed run of Drake and Josh for the DS. I've never actually
Yo,
done a
I was
full
just, like,
one.
having trouble with the doorman clip. Like you crushed it.
Yeah, there was I got lost at one point, and that's exactly where I got lost like in my practice. So but then yeah, with the door, what ended up happening with the door is I was trying to get also Artemis, you can probably switch back to the other cam if you haven't already. Yeah. All right. But yeah, what happened there is I was trying to clip through the door and it like wasn't working. I think I know what the issue was, and I think it's that I have to hold right into the door for a certain amount of time. Even though it doesn't visually look any different, you're actually still a little bit more into the door basically. So basically that's what I had to do. But what I ended up doing is I tried to bait the guy in there so I could use him to clip through, and it just did not work. And then I had to back up from that too. I ended up getting through there, but other than those two, that was actually like, other than very small stuff that I probably could clean up, it was actually very solid.
Oh,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
I thought that run was really well done for sure. That one spot at the door, I think, was the only spot that was like maybe a minute. Or
Yeah,
so
it was
blocked,
bad. Like that was a bad spot, but like if I cleaned up like those two things, like I could probably have around like a 41 minute time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that was a very good first run. I totally think that was great.
EZScape, your run was pretty good too, other than having to reset on that level. That was a little heartbreaking.
Dude,
was
my
bad.
run was rough. Yeah, so the first thing that happened was in 1-4 where you use the one dude to clip through that east wall. So you spray him, you aggro him, and you stand on the corner of that one table. And what happened was he came over and just started running back and forth on that wall. And I'm like, okay, I've never seen this. The only other time I've seen him do something weird is when he completely despawned on that wall, you know, and that was in like one of my runs like last week. So then I had to kite him around and then, you know, redo it. I finally got it. And then the other biggest mistake I had was obviously when I had to do I had to quit out the level. I think that was 4-1, and that was because I completely just forgot one of the dudes. I forgot to do a magic trick on him with Josh. Instead, it's where you run up against that one chair and you go through that one pillar on your way to the fifth guy. I completely skipped the fourth one, and that was just like brain fart on my part.
Yeah, that's it.
Other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, movement is movement. I think there was one clip that I was actually really satisfied. Oh, it was if I go back and notes, it is. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, your notes are crazy compared to mine. Holy crap.
Yeah, mine are detailed, but I've memorized it so much to where I don't even like read through them all anymore. But it's one of the levels. If you remember, there's this one level where you go into this room and there's like a bunch of stoves, and you're supposed to clip through that general area, and then you activate the cutscene, or not the cutscene trigger, just the trigger in general. The way I do it is I go in a different room, and if you're able to do both clips first try, it saves like 6 seconds on that entire level. I got the first part of that first try. The second one, it took me a little bit, but I wanted to just, you know, do it in a run nonetheless. So, but yeah, I mean, Easy didn't let up once. Like I was looking at my timer and I was kind of comparing with him, and I think at one point I was like 2 minutes behind, then I was less than 2 minutes behind. I was slowly, you know, trying to catch up, but he was hitting everything first try. So
yeah, most of the stuff I was actually hitting shit like hella first try.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I know. I think EZScape just hit a lot of really good stuff really quick, and but Beescape's run was still good. I totally thought it was definitely good. There was just the resets that I think were pretty much the only issue. Like,
yeah, he forgot to get one guy in the Josh Kazam level. And
right. And then now that I think about it, in the final level where there's the 5 judges and you have to do tricks on them, I completely choked that level too. I think I ended up doing a trick on 2 tricks on the same person, because how you're supposed to do it is you stand between 2 sets of 2 and you press both of them at the same time. And what I did, I just completely screwed it up. So I had to do a total of 4 tricks when I should have only done 3. Oh, and then the Travis boss fight towards the end wasn't the greatest. I tried getting the powder out as fast as possible and spraying him.
Oh, did you get push grabbed or whatever?
Yeah, I got pushed. Yeah, push grabbed. So I think that happened twice too. So yeah, I think it was just nerves. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
it could have been.
Yeah,
feel
but
that.
Easy's run was super solid.
Honestly, it's such an inconclusive race because of the Zoe 101 stuff that happened. We got to submit this to like GDQ or something for the rematch or something.
Yeah, dude.
That would be great. That would be sick for sure.
But yeah, all I have left to say is thank you everybody for tuning in. You know, this is our very first time ever doing Speedrun Saturdays. It's going to be every Saturday from here on out, and I'm looking forward to building the momentum on that and just improving everything as we go. We're going to take the VOD and look everything over and just see where we can improve at and try and improve every week from here on out. Again, first time doing something like this, so I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. And yeah, we'll see you next Saturday. I do want to give a big thanks to our commentators, Silo Simon and PME Obama. I didn't get to listen to any of it, but I'm sure they did a great job. Shout out to Artemis for doing a great job running the stream for us, because we were not able to run it on our own setup because we were the racers. Any other time we're going to be running it ourselves most likely. Shout outs to Arcadius for making these sick layouts for us. Shout outs to my homie Evan for making the base concept of the logo, and then Turnt for kind of putting it all together for us. This was very much a team effort, and we look forward to moving forward from here. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Anything you have to say, Mr. Beascape?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that GDQ rematch.
Okay. Well, anything for you guys to say, Obama or Simon?
No, thanks for having me, and I think just shout outs to all the people you gave shout outs to. It's super cool. I think it'll be a really fun thing to see develop. I'll definitely enjoy checking out the next couple of Speedrun Saturdays. So yeah,
really looking forward to doing it. Well, with that being said, you guys all have a great day, beautiful life, and we will catch you next time. Thank you so much. Peace, guys.
Peace.
yeah, have a good one.
Have a good one.